provide emphasis on ensuring that SASSCAL builds the much needed required human capital to be able to address and cope with the ever-changing challenges of climate change. So if you look at the schematic that I'm highlighting right now, it's basically to highlight those centers of excellence, which, as I say, are an embodiment of the national goals, the partnership with research and academic institutions, as well as the infrastructure that goes with it. Now, in terms of the progress of the implementation of the Center of Excellence, I want to highlight that we have made some strides. In interpretation, I would like to highlight that from a Namibia perspective, the Center of Excellence in Integrated Water Resource Management has already implemented, or already at the tail end of implementing, the first cohort of students, which I'll touch on, and is on the onset of kickstarting yet another program, which is basically going to be progressing or building onto the previous one. But I have to also highlight that on the same token of ensuring that we have got the regional footprint from a capacity development perspective, from Angola, we have recently established a Center of Excellence in Agriculture and Food Security with adaptive land management. Now, this is a center that is being implemented through the national route in partnership with University Jose Eduardo Santos, as well as a partner university in Germany called Kassel University. This is being implemented now onwards with the view that it will provide the much needed expertise in the area of agriculture and food security, as well as land management. We don't stop there. We have planned in our pipeline of the Centers of Excellence the implementation of Centers of Excellence in Botswana, Zambia, and South Africa in the coming years, as I highlighted. Now, going back to the SASSCAL Graduate Studies Program, Integrated Water Resource Management, I just wanted to share some highlights. This was a program that was envisaged, as I said, being guided by the strategic goal of SASSCAL having a footprint of developing the right capacities in terms of the technical expertise to deal with issues of integrated water resource management, not only in Namibia in this case, but in the rest of the region. So in the process, the center, the program has been able to onboard 30 students and was targeting establishment of 2 research chairs. It has also onboarded 2 postdoctoral fellows and is also focused on providing short courses, which are mainly intended for industries. Now, the establishment of the SGSP came at a time when there was a need to be able to have expertise, which is coming from what I call transdisciplinary and interdisciplinary fields. So the PhD students that have been on the program had registered for PhDs in environmental engineering, looking at water and environment, the PhD in informatics, the PhD in natural resources sciences, as well as PhDs in spatial sciences. As we speak, between April and now, as of October, the program has already graduated 4 of the students, being Ms. Dr. Maria Kanyama from Namibia, who was in the area of informatics, Dr. Mumbe Lwendo from Zambia, Dr. Radisson from Botswana, as well as Dr. Catherine Rapids, also from Botswana. These graduates have recently I'm going to complete quickly. In the same token, we are in the process, as I said, of establishing a Center of Excellence in Agriculture for Security and Sustainable Management in Huambo, in Angola. And this will also attract at least 10 students from the region, focusing on areas of agriculture, food security, and sustainable land management. Within the framework of the Centers of Excellence, as well as the SASSCAL Graduate Studies Program, there's always complementarity in ensuring that they address the broader schemes or aspects of capacity development that SASSCAL has established. And in terms of highlighting the broader aspects of Right, and then just to quickly wrap up, in terms of SASSCAL's development approach, the core mission is to contribute to building knowledge-based society in Southern Africa, which is also enshrined in our broader strategic goals. We're also looking at supporting policymakers, academic institutions, and practitioners through the expertise that has been generated. In terms of the broader aspirations, looking at the regional as well as the broader scheme of things, it aligns well to the goals of the Sustainable Development Goals under the United Nations, specifically goal number 13, which is, as well as the SADC Regional Integrated Program, which basically has got a component that specifically looks at how SADC wants to achieve its human capacity development going forward. This also addresses the issue of Agenda 2063 from the African Union. The approach of SASSCAL in its capacity development looks at individual, institutional, as well as enabling environment, and I think we've demonstrated that from the highlights that I just said. The implementation of the SGSPs, as I highlighted, is through academic and non-academic programs. As I highlighted, through the short courses, we reach out to also those that are already in employment to just basically empower them and give them the capabilities. So the SASSCAL Graduate Studies Program, an integral part of the Centers of Excellence, is already highlighted, and I've already highlighted the 2, out of which we're already having the results in terms of the graduates that are already coming out of the program. So in a nutshell, that is what I want to highlight in terms of the SGSPs. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tachemba, for that presentation. Clearly, there are opportunities for academic progression and output and knowledge output. Research, inquiry, asking the right questions through these programs definitely are going to help us shape our intervention measures. The floor is yours.
As Director of Ceremonies for that and directing the tie. I think this is not the first time someone liked my tie. I think I've done back last week when we were in Namibia, also someone said the tie. By the way, I'm not a very fan of it. Thank you very much. I would like to rise on the same protocol. I think the director has done from both the government and SASSCAL. I'd like to say thank you, and also for the time they have given me to provide this brief summary on H2 address. Actually, my name is Sonda Monga. I'm the senior scientist from Regional Secretariat in Indongo, Namibia. Of course, I'm a Zambian. I'm happy that today I was part of the group which sang the national anthem. I really feel very good. Yeah, the impacts of climate change really hasn't spared the energy sector. It has been so devastated to a level that the energy sector has been torn apart in terms of generation, in terms of provision, and in terms of use. So the alternative source of energy has been sought, and of course hydrogen has been the best candidate in this aspect because of its properties. Yes, it was invested that of course we should now try to see how best we can understand this hydrogen, and of course a project to look at the feasibility of how hydrogen can be produced, packaged, and of course transported, and be commercialized was initiated in different countries, which Zambia is included. So, hence the project H2 Atlas Africa project was initiated, and of course I would just like to provide a very small background about the objectives and how that has been used by other countries Zambia can benefit on it. So basically, Atlas project was designed to assess the potential of generating hydrogen from the renewable energy sources in Southern Africa. Okay, thank you very much. So basically, that has been the objective of Atlas 2, H2 Atlas Africa project. And of course, another objective is to assess how it can support sustainable development on the continent, including the possibility of exporting green hydrogen from Africa. And all these aspects looked at the socio-economic, logistics, political stability, environmental, and of course, environmental infrastructure in Southern Africa. And as such, the platform was established where we could go in and try to look at these baselines so that each country can assess and try to see how ready they are to engage in the hydrogen initiative. So for Zambia, briefly, I just removed something on the socio-economic impact assessment so that we can see how best we are standing on that. On the platform, you will see that with Zambia situation in terms of the current and future energy and power sectors performances, we are actually highly favorable, meaning that we stand in a good position. In terms of export and transport infrastructure, we are at least favorable. In terms of eco-political framework, in terms of regulations and whatever, actually we are highly favorable, meaning that Zambia stands a better chance to participate and be part and parcel of the team and part of the history that is making in the green hydrogen. So, if you go on the platform, some of the indicators which are quite cardinal and very important for us to look at so that we can assess how best we are available in the region and of course for our own country is about the social, political, export and transport and regulatory framework, land eligibility, areas for developing solar and water turbines, try to see if our land is okay. Then renewable resource liberalized cost of electricity to see if the cost of production is how is it standing at the region and how effective, profitable it is and efficient it is. Maximum absolute hydrogen and technical potential, liberalized cost of hydrogen and groundwater sustainability yield in terms of conservative, minimum, and extreme. All those parameters are available on the platform for us to check. And it is very clear that Zambia stands in a better position to take part in this initiative. Now, in the region, we are having some countries who have demonstrated this pathway. And this is workable and this is attainable. And we can have examples, for example, from our neighbors in Namibia, who have demonstrated the production of hydrogen and able to use it for energy and of course for agriculture production. If you look to our left on the slide, on the picture number 1, you find the solar panels. This has been now generating the solar energy that goes into the system. And this solar energy goes into the electrolyzer in terms of stage 2, and you find that now that's where they break hydrogen from water, and then they isolate hydrogen to be used in the production of energy or fertilizer. And if you look at stage 3, you are looking at hydrogen storage and compression, and the storage has been, and the hydrogen being stored and being reserved for use. If you look at number 4, stage number 4, you will see how this hydrogen is being used, is being kept at the filling station, and of course being released in either a tractor or a vehicle or any other use that could be used. So all these things are being demonstrated at 2 sites in Namibia, at Clean Energy Center Solution and Dowless Green Hydrogen Village in the midst of the deserts. So this is working. Now to Zambia. To Zambia is quite also very workable in the sense that we have land, as I alluded much earlier, which could be used. And according to the Atlas analysis or assessment, you will find that the land is eligible and of course very suitable for such use. In terms of renewable energy resource, yes, we are quite also quite favorable in terms of where we are, in terms of the wind and the solar PV. West still, we have enough groundwater, especially in the north, where we can have a lot of water, swamps, wetlands where we can generate a lot of water. And for Zambia, it's fresh water, which is pure water, unlike in Namibia where they are spending a lot of money to ensure that they remove some salt. So in terms of Zambia, we are quite eligible, and of course, not only eligible, we are quite favorable in terms of the position where we are, in terms of the low renewable energy cost, adequate water resources, and position well for green hydrogen production. It's quite green in the sense that we are using either solar or wind. That's what qualifies it to be green hydrogen. The only thing we can do as of now is to appeal to all the policymakers, to appeal to all the technocrats in this house that what is Zambia's role in the renewable energy and green hydrogen in this initiative. We should look for setting up of green hydrogen plant, either a solar panel, electrolyzer as I indicated, where you can split hydrogen from water, storage and use. All those aspects we should look or the project that could come out from that. And of course we should leave out the issue of human capacity development. At what level? PhD level, MSc level, BSc level, at technical level through the TVETA arrangement. So Zambia has a potential, and they have also different pathways they can follow in order to be part and parcel of this green hydrogen initiative. So I would also encourage you that you visit our national office, that is the SASSCAL Zambia office at the National Remote Sensing Center and the Airport Road here in Lusaka. You can contact Mr. Manika Morris at that at morris.manika@sasscal.org or Mrs. Chizia Mzeche Chisha.mzeche@sasscal.org, or you can contact the National Coordinator Project Coordinator Dr. Chomba or any other SASSCAL personnel. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Perhaps maybe abusing my privilege as Director of Programs. Maybe before you take a seat, Dr. Musonga, I would like to ask a question around scalability of this project. And I'm asking this selfish question on account that you know the that we are, that are bedeviled, and we're trying to find solutions. Now, with the proposition that you have made, with the research that's been undertaken, and you rightly indicated that the conditions for the hydrogen project in Zambia are perfect. So I'm curious on the aspect of scalability. I don't know if I've got you on, on the spot. We can have this discussion over lunch, or if you're comfortable responding to the question now, please. Okay.
Thank you so much for the question, Prof. Ceremonies. I think quickly to respond, what is being highlighted is that The value chain from the research, the data that is coming from the research, has been able to inform the critical initiatives to build around a model that basically portrays to you where are the pockets where you can then be able to develop projects. But the next level is then to say, how do I bring it to the level where it can be demonstrated? It's like a move from lab to pilot. Now, this is where you demonstrate, as he highlighted, through the pilot project that have been done in Namibia, where you continue to collect data. In Namibia, for example, they continue to collect data even as of now of wind speed and direction and dynamics within the area where they want to eventually move now into putting together infrastructure to be able to utilize wind energy for generating green hydrogen. The solar data has been collected also, which is also used to inform. Our weather data is also being used to inform the same. So what that says is that from a SASSCAL perspective, we are endowed with data to inform how best we can be able to move forward in demonstrating. The pilot project will basically lead to a point where if the technology has been demonstrated, it doesn't really leave any doubts for a potential investor to put money and to scale it up. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that response. Is anyone with a question? Let me just open it up for just one or two questions. And then maybe just in case there was anybody with a question on the first presentation.
My question, I do appreciate these initiatives, and we are looking forward to see how we can help us to build the capacity at national level. But my question is not based on these two presentations, but on the first major ceremony. I hope that we have government people from here. You're the only one? Great, at least the message can reach the PAs and others. About 6 weeks ago, I was doing field work in the local catchment. And we are going around to do some flow measurements. Now, one thing that I found there to be disturbing is that the telemetric stations that do the flow measurements automatically, they are dysfunctional because they were flooded during the 2024-2025 rain season. And when we asked the local people there, especially the gauge radar, they said nobody from Wamas reported to come and check this which are monitoring. So, in relation to that, today you have handed over these fantastic innovations to the government to improve our database. Do we have the management strategy to make sure that as you have handed over in good shape, they will remain in good shape, or there will be sustainability? We don't want to hear that over 2, 3, 4 years, no one is attending to them. Is there a strategy that has been put in place to monitor that they are always functioning? Thank you.
Sustainability. Okay, so I can see there's a hand over there. So we can, you want to respond to that question, right?
Thank you very much. Let me hand it to ZMT. And we're coming from the Zambia Met Office. The table you're seeing here is the table of technicians. And apart from that, we have, each province has a technician now. The role of that is specifically to look at maintain these things. In the past, we have worked with SASSCAL for the last, I think, 20 years. The other ones were functional, others came to store because the vendor or the manufacturer had ceased producing the spares. So we have migrated to Campbell because we want continuity with them. And Campbell has an office in South Africa which is closer, and like the other ones where they were in Europe. But as for us as main office, we have rescheduled that every 6 months we go to look at these stations. Not only the Lusaka office, but that we have decentralized the system that each province has a technician. So that the issues of finances from Lusaka going that side, if they're not there, they will use the CTF, which is the provincial money, to do the repairs. And we're happy that SASSCAL not only have given us these stations, if you check in that box, they are spares also. So for now, we know that the first 2 years, the station requires less maintenance, so to say. But we have now 240 stations which are function. We are so confident that we will maintain this. And you will be our monitor, because we have just showed you that you can be checking the temperature every day. If it's down, call a director and say, why is Lusaka down?
Thank you very much. So there's an assurance there. With that assurance, we can now go to the last presentation. Okay.
So just to add on what the technician has said, also one of the things we are doing now is to make sure that as we do these installations, we are not just installing anywhere, we are using schools. Because what we have come to find out is that when we install around schools, our stations are more secure. Because there was a lot of vandalism, people were stealing solar panels and so many parts. So as a way to sustain these equipment, we are installing them in schools. And like what he has said, the strategy now is to make sure that this is on our work plans. And we are now going to be using government funding. So every year as we are doing our plans, we are making sure that the monies to do with inspection and maintenance are part of what we are planning for every year. So it's one of the things we are doing now.
Thank you very much for that supplementary information. Okay, so at this juncture, allow me to invite Mr. Mulumba to make the last presentation on partnerships and collaborations. The floor is yours. Can you give him a round of applause?
Thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. All protocols observed. This is one of the hardest slots to give a speech or a presentation, because I know we all want to go and have our lunch. So I'll try to be concise, but touch all bases. So basically, I'm going to be talking about partnerships and the role of the private sector through the lens of the automated weather stations, and how we are positioning ourselves as SASSCAL to really show that we are open for business and for opportunities to partner, be it with financial institutions, development entities, and of course GRZ, who are our trusted partner. So the outline of my presentation is I'll briefly talk about the SASSCAL context, talk about the weather stations and their impact. Further, I iterate on this impact for the weather stations, then elucidate a little bit on the value proposition that we bring as SASSCAL, and offer a few concluding remarks. So I think the ET covered it very well. She explained how we are set up in terms of we have 5 member states, and we are a joint initiative of 5 countries. And from those 5 countries, we have a council, we have a board, etc. So I'm not going to go into those details. But what I want to start with is by situating some of the thematic areas that we concentrate on. So for us at SASSCAL, we have research, products and services, as well as capacity development as core pillars. So if we look at the work that we do, why is this work important? Well, let's look at where the member states are. In Southern Africa, population over 100 million, we realize that reliable weather data, and the Permanent Secretary alluded to this as well, reliable weather data is the lifeline for agriculture, disaster management and sustainable development. For example, we are grappling with underdevelopment in most countries in terms of our region. In Zambia alone, you may wish to know that the biggest employer, especially linked to the small-scale farming, is actually the agriculture sector. However, we have a challenge in that the contribution to GDP is really low, 7% or lower, depending on which statistics you cite. So what are we saying? We are saying having reliable weather data is an essential ingredient to actually lift ourselves out of poverty. What impact have these automated weather stations, what have they had? We've appreciated the presentation from the Met Department showing us that now the data is live and we can really drill down into seeing even previous information, and this helps several things. For example, it can support investment. This climate data reduces the risk for investors, and as was mentioned to me, once we have enough baseline data, it's easy for us to build predictive models which we can use. Public health benefits from these automated weather stations because we then have support systems for early warning. Youth engagement, there are opportunities here. I think the moderator, the director of programs mentioned that in addition to having this online web-based portal, why can't we think about having an app? Because now most of the interactions with our phones are through apps and not necessarily through web-based applications. So there are opportunities for a smart youth out there to develop an app which can actually be used for this and not necessarily rely on the web-based application. I can even just throw in another idea, which is that you can even develop what you call a USSD system, where you can solicit for this information without necessarily logging on. And USSD has the advantage that it doesn't really, it can run off even a 2G network without necessarily having internet connectivity. So, of course, the AWS support climate research, decision making, and broadly speaking, they improve the digital infrastructure of the country. We invited a number of partners to join us today, including colleagues from development institutions, banks, development finance institutions, and the reason is we are trying to build a case to say this research and the data that we have from the AWS can actually be used symbiotically with you guys for financial inclusion. We know that you may have a profit motive, but you can leverage the expertise and experience that we have. Also, we can talk about smart agriculture, which can benefit from this instead of farmers just planting and hoping that it's going to rain or not. If there is some modeling of sorts, that can be helpful. Policy support, we have GRZ representation here at high levels. So this data again can support GRZ in terms of policy formulation. We shouldn't also forget that our work at SASSCAL, and more specifically talking about the AWS, also advances some sustainable development goals. For example, SDG 13, as well as SDG 2, which is about zero hunger. So, what is our, what you call in marketing, our unique selling proposition? We have strong technical and project management capacity at SASSCAL. What we are saying is, if we take this capacity and we link it to the partners who are out there who are offering opportunities, we can do big things. What are some of the areas in which we are thinking about partnering with you? For example, funding opportunities, grants, and collaboration, we are open to that. We are also open to business ventures. One can make a case over the AWS that data actually can be used in various ways. I think you're only limited by your imagination. We can think about partnering for innovation hubs. We are available to provide capacity building, and we have very strong research capabilities. So, if there's one thing I want you to think about as you are having your lunch, is SASSCAL. We continue being open for business, and we'll be coming and knocking on your doors to make sure that these partnerships can be driven to fruition. So we are open. That is the message. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that very incisive presentation, straight to the point. And think as you have rightly pointed out, there's need for us to, what can only get you better, it's partnerships and collaborations. And these partnerships and collaborations, should basically be founded on, mutual interest. And obviously with the presentation that's been made, you've made a good clarion call that the private sector and all key sector players all need to drive in one direction. And hopefully maybe, we can get some traction on, on these partnerships and collaborations. Do we have any questions? Any questions? Okay, so now we are basically standing in between your lunch and departure. So at this point in time, I now have the honor and privilege to invite Mr. John Nkonde Chongo, Assistant Director, Science and Technology, the Ministry of Technology and Science, but is coming in his capacity as the council member of SASSCAL to not only deliver his remarks, but also close this, handover ceremony. Let's give him a round of applause as he comes to deliver his remarks.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies. Mr. Mutale, you have done a good job. I think it deserves a clap of hand. Can we clap? Yes, you have done a good job. And Mr. Mutale, we did appreciate for support to SASSCAL initiative. Thank you very much. I start by greeting you. I standing here to present my board chair. As you have heard, SASSCAL is a regional initiative that is composed of 5 member countries. We included Namibia, Angola, Botswana, Zambia, South Africa, and of course Germany, that has come as a funder. And we have been standing as a team since 2011, and SASSCAL has delivered a number of initiatives, of which one we are celebrating today. I start by just wants to thank the German government. I know we have loved to be here, but as highlighted by the Masters of Ceremonies, however, we just want to thank the funding that comes from Germany on behalf of the SASSCAL governing body. The funding from Germany's Ministry of Technology and Space has really been supportive to sustain the efforts of SASSCAL. I think that we really need to appreciate the German government. I think we need to appreciate and show by hand of government. Of course, the member countries also have been helpful, as annually they send a contribution to sustain the effort of SASSCAL. And I think we need to appreciate as well the member countries for their support. Yeah, thank you. And as I proceed, I just want to appreciate and just to say thank you to the institutions, the local institutions that are represented here. First, may I start by also acknowledging the delegation that has come from SASSCAL region body, which is led by Professor Indongo and the team. Thank you for coming. I think we need to also show it by hand of clap. Yes, Professor Indongo has come on board, and Prof, how I like this. I know you have really fitted very well. Professor Indongo is less than a year at SASSCAL, but our coming has come with such, a catalyst which is really making the efforts of SASSCAL, go to be known publicly in the 5 member countries. Last month we were in Angola, and we were at a very big event which Professor Indongo hosted, and that event was actually graced by the Vice President of Angola. And it's an effort which is showing that SASSCAL's, projects they are impacting, in the region of SADC region. Prof. Indongo, thank you very much. I think we can clap for Prof. Indongo for our leadership. Yes, I thank you for also the presence. I've seen also the representative from National Assembly. We have Mr. Sylvester, and National Assembly, we're happy you are here to see that the SASSCAL treaty, which you supported us to be endorsed, is really working, and SASSCAL is moving on. And of course, not to forget the representatives of institutions like universities, research and development, as well as not forgetting the Zambia Meteorological Department that sits under our sister ministry, the Ministry of Green Economy, who are the recipient of the 15, automatic weather station that SASSCAL has given to Zambia. And one thing we should bear in mind, as was highlighted in the presentation, in total we have a number of 181 automatic weather stations that are distributed in the 5 member countries. So this automatic weather station, actually, they work in tandem. When we talk of the information that is coming from the 15 automatic weather stations in Zambia, they also they're working in tandem with the other weather stations in the countries which are highlighted: Namibia, Botswana, Angola, South Africa. And all this, they work in tandem, so it's good, information which our decision makers can use, as well as our students and researchers at the research institution. So SASSCAL, thank you for this good effort. Yeah, and we're happy to hear that as much as SASSCAL has handed over the automatic weather station to Zambia Meteorological Department, they have also promised that they will continue to give a hand to ensure that this automatic weather station are maintained in good shape and also upgraded accordingly, and SASSCAL has shown their availability. And also I'm happy that we have heard from our colleagues from the Zambia Meteorological Department, who have also given now they maintain this equipment, and they have given that assurance that this equipment will continue to be maintained and be used in good shape to support the economic sectors of the country. As you know, the information that is coming from this automatic weather station, it's important to note that it's the information which we need to support the economic sectors. And I know people might be asking, how are the people on the ground going to benefit from this automatic weather station? From the presentation, we have heard that sectors such as agriculture, we included the farmers, also in the energy sector, including transport, we have heard including the civil aviation, also health sector, in terms of food security, water, ecology, and biodiversity. Just to mention a few, all these sectors will benefit from the information that is coming from the automatic weather station. So the handover of this automatic weather station to Zambia is quite a plus on the part of SASSCAL and also at Zambia. On behalf of the Zambian government, I just want to say thank you, to just echo what my permanent secretary, Dr. Habenzu, mentioned, to say these are quite important, piece of equipment which has to be put in good use to support socio-economic development of the country, of which the government or the New Dawn government is promoting, so that Zambia we can develop with understanding, following the information and the accuracy of the information that will come from the automatic weather station. So members, I know I'm standing between you and lunch. So in conclusion, I just want to say thank you for coming, and we wish you safe travel, Professor Indongo and team, and also my colleagues from the local institution. Just want to say thank you for coming and wish you a good day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chokbo. It now leaves me to just public acknowledge that whatever goes up must always come down. And clearly my functions here, my function as Director of Programs comes to an end. I've lost my immunity and I'll just become an ordinary person. So you can invite me to your table, for lunch. But I want to say thank you very much for your patience and your active attention throughout this ceremony. Lunch is being served downstairs, and coupons will be given out by Madam Maridi, I think, yes, and Madam Chomo. So they're giving out coupons. You can't have lunch without a coupon. So please ensure that you get a coupon when you go and have lunch. So thank you very much for your attention. God bless you. For those of you who are interested in picking those balloons over there, please do. You can take them for the kids. If not for yourself. But thank you for your cooperation. Give me a round of applause.
Definitely, yes.
Thank you very much and have a good